Hi, this is Kim Pinkney, and welcome to my channel. All right, well, today I've got a commissioned hoodie to do. Again, it is Kimetsu no Yaiba. My friend had saw me wearing my hoodie on Instagram, and he's like, calls me up and says, "You know, I gotta buy that. You know, I gotta buy that." It's like, take my money. Just freaking take my money. Fistfuls of money. So I said that he can't have mine. It's a 3X. It looks cute. And I definitely said that I've got some ideas and let me make yours definitely unique. Kind of following the same kind of theme that I've got. Just like fistfuls of money. Take it. Now, I'm going to do the characters on the sleeve, on the back, and on the front, but I'm going to do them in different poses. And this one I had started this morning. I had spent an hour getting the moon on here, only to find out as I was drawing the character and kind of grinding into the paint, only to find out that this, hey, Tatted Hearts, that I was upside down. And you know, when I use these embroidery hoops, I usually put the hoop facing upwards, so I know that this right here is up. And when I was drawing it, it was upside down. And you can kind of see the indentation of where I had started the character. And I just wanted to cry. I'm like, God, dandruff. But luckily, nobody was with me first thing this morning, so nobody knows a thing, nobody sees a thing. You know, nothing. Plus, it was a boring ass video because all I did was paint this, and then as I was drawing this, realized it was upside down, and lots and lots of cussing later. I just tried to paint it over, but because the grooves were so deep, no matter how much I covered it, I couldn't fill it in. So I'm going to see if I can salvage this, and if I can't, I'll paint over it again and scrap this hoodie and pull out another one, because I went out and bought a whole nother one after I was like kicking myself that this damn thing was upside down. And then I was looking at it going, I can make this work. I'm like, no, dog, I can't make this work. There's no freaking way. Okay, so the idea that I have is Inosuke is going to be leaping. He's got the moon behind him. See, now it's not grinding into the damn paint. Now that it's completely dry. I wish I would have waited until it was completely dry. I just want to kick myself for that. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to push on. I felt froggy today. I just am inspired to draw and color and just whip stuff out. So tonight, that's what I'm going to be doing. Let's see. Let me see if I can gauge where I am. Okay. Now here's where his eyes are going to be. And he's kind of going to be at an angle. Here's his ears. I was going to say his horns. Let's see. His snout is going to be down this way. And I really don't want to do too much erasing. And I'm going to make his eyes very wall-eyed, because it just adds to that mystique. That wild boar look. Wild and crazy looking boar. A picture that I'm using is super blurry. So I'm kind of going by a little bit of the pose, a little bit of memory, and hoping that it ends up looking like the character after I'm done. Let's see, one of the swords is going to come behind his head, behind the mask. Let's see, I think I'll bring it down a little bit further. We'll bring it down here. Let's see if I can erase okay without making too much of a mess. Yeah, just ducky. And even with the pink eraser, I'm able to get away with that. So, yay. Let's see. So, yeah, I plan on doing a lot of drawing this weekend. I really want to get to that that one picture that I had a plan for. Oh, it's too far over. There we go. Of JoJo. And maybe even catch a couple episodes if I can stand it. It's just that they talk so damn much. It's like, let's talk more action. And they just, it's like they're posing a lot. It's just, it's funny. I don't know. But I don't have the same passion as my sons do for it. They love some JoJo. They have the same kind of passion for JoJo as I did for Dragon Ball Z when it was the bomb. I mean, I remember running to go watch an episode when it was in its heyday. Okay, gotta make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. Let's see, I gotta give myself plenty of space. So I gotta move this hand down. I'm so glad I can erase. Unlike right here. Oh, God, dandruff. That was a big boo-boo. I definitely needed some coffee. Okay. Now our boy has his arms crossed in front of him. It's a very strange angle. There we go. You can barely see his body. And it looks like my moon's not big enough because a good portion of him is inside the moon here. And I'm wondering if I'm going to shade it like my source image, where the moon is like super bright behind him. Let's see, I gotta remember that the serrated edge is on the edge, outside edge here. Just gotta make sure not to over torque it here. There we go. See if I can remember the pattern here. You have to do this sword. You do the flat end, you come in a bit, you make a little bump, slide it out, make another little bump, bring out that serrated edge. So it's kind of like do the edge, then do a bump, bring it out. Bump. And see. And when I go outside here, I think I'll use one of my painter's pens. Let's see. And that just will give me that extra that I need to remind myself to go a little bit further out. All right, and just bring this back in. He's got like this fuzziness here. Now I was going to draw it out, but I'm like, nah, no guts, no glory. I was going to draw it out on paper first to give myself an idea. And I'm like, no. Freaking A, Kim. You know what you want to do. Just do it. Do it. Put the snout a little bit further down. There we go. And you'll be able to see it a little bit better once I give it a good outline. Let's see. Do I have it turned enough is the question. Let me see. think I'll turn it just a little bit more. So we'll give it that much there. I'm going to fuzz out the head a little bit. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a mask here. There we go. That looks a lot more like the mask there. Okay. I really want to see his abs. Let's see, we'll do this sort of thing. And just have those arms cross in front. Let's see, his shoulder was here. Let me see, I want to make sure I get my stuff right. His bicep is about like right here. And then the forearm. His thumb. This is like the back of his hand. Gotta make sure that the sword still kind of works here. Oops, gotta bring his hand up a little further. Let's see. We'll tilt that a bit more. Yeah, drawing on this is like drawing with paper. It feels like paper. Well, it's smooth. I did something right. Sort of. Alright. Okay, so let's see. We'll billow out his little waist skirt thing. And we'll even have it kind of come around him a bit. There we go. And so the other sword will be about like right here. And I love the cross swords with this guy. It's kind of like his own little duality type of thing. Like the cross between human and animal, human and beast. And like he was pretty much raised by boars. And but it's like he's changing the more that he hangs with these guys, fights these demons. Okay, so now I'm going to have to bring this down some so I can get to the bottom here, but first I'm going to go ahead and try to define this a little bit better. And this is all his skirt here. Let's see. Try to get that knuckle in there. This is not doing me any favors. Okay. Okay, so we got one sword there. Get the little bump, the serrated. I can probably just serrate, 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 and just kind of let it trail off because it's in the distance. Alright, so to connect these, just bring them in like that. Make that little bump and the little edge, bump, bump, edge, bump up, edge, bump up, and then just define the serrated edge a bit. All right. Let's see, I wanted his head to be tilted a little further, so we'll move this ear almost like that. Comes down, and this ear would be about right there, but smaller. I gotta see what these ears look like again up close. It's pink here. And we'll give it like a little bit of a head there, or forehead, and give it some lines for expression. Let's see, his snout points up pretty high. Just bring that down some. And I'll throw a tusk in here, a little bit further back. Keep this one right here. There we go. Now I don't want this to smear, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it. Let's see. Oh. And I'm going to use my gel roller for fabric. Yeah, let's see if we can get some lines going on right here. I'm going to try not to overlap myself. I will not overlap myself. I will not overlap myself. Yeah, I've got a backup hoodie, so what I'm going to do is keep that on standby, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to go ahead and commit to another Kimetsu no Yaiba on that one. The backup hoodie is, I think it's in XL, an extra large, in men's. You know, I'm kind of digging that this is, you know, already primed, and I'm just drawing on top of it. If I can get away with doing that, I think I'll try it on this one. On this particular hoodie, I'm going to prime the area up really nice and thick, because this is like effortless. Before, I was really kind of struggling with the white and trying to get that to you know, show up. The white pencil, trying to get that to show up, and then painting on that. The white pencil I can pretty much erase with just a finger, just kind of rubbing it. See, I don't want to mess up my little nostrils here. Give it like that. And we'll throw that tusk right there. And I'm just varying the, what do you call those things? The little spiky hairs. We'll bring that mouth out a little bit more. Let's see. So his eyes are almost as big as his snout here. Let's see. See if I can make them nice and big. Kind of want the snout to look like it's right there. Yeah, all these little lines here I'm going to probably have to add back in once I start painting. Now this particular shirt, I don't want to do too much of the high heat on it. Ooh, okay, good, it's dry. Because I thought I'd be wearing some of this ink here. Just spin it a bit. Let's see if I got a close-up of his swords. Let's see. Show me your sword, bro. Nope. Not that one. That's not going to show me anything. Aha. Let's see. Okay, so it's kind of just a wrap. And it goes up a little higher than his hands and his grip. Give it a nice fat grip there. We'll just have it kind of a little tie right there. Okay, so his elbow will probably be about right there. Bicep. Now for the other character, Zenitsu, I think instead of having him look scared, I'm going to have him with the eyes closed, where he's at his badassedness. connect some of these lines here. Alright. And then I'll end up probably, after I've painted this, I'll probably end up having to re-outline it again. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what that part is. There's my pose. Okay. Okay, so this is just his waist. So this fuzz here, it barely shows his waist. Okay, so this is his waist, this is his fuzz that's around his waist. Okay, almost there. Okay, so his legs are in a leap. And this is like where his heel would be. And his billowy pants come out that far. This is going to be a shadow right here. Another shadow. So all this part right here will be dark. All right. Okay, so let's see if we can fix what we can with this side here. Let me see if I can get some of this to come out. Doesn't want to do that. Okay, that's fine. The most important part right now is the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to slide this down as far as it'll let me. As it goes down the sleeve, it is not only tightening, but it's also kind of becoming an egg shape because the sleeves kind of narrow down to the wrist. Let's see if it's tight enough for it to let me draw still. There we go. Because since I've got some of the ink still on here, it's probably still a little wet. Okay. Let's see if this will let me do my thing. Yeah, the moon from my image, it comes out even further. So like the only thing that's really sticking out is like this leg's foot. But my moon is just a little too small, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, and this is the knee. Okay, the thigh. We're not going to see any of this because this is all going to be in shadow. The only part that we'll see is his toes down here. And that's all flesh tone, or at least it will be. Let me flip this around. Come on, you. Yeah, the tip is like totally dry on that side. Let me hold it down a bit. Do 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 do. So this is about as much as we're going to get as far as his foot on that end. Okay, so for this thigh here, let me use the pencil and see if that'll work a little bit better for now. That one needs to be sharpened. Okay. Make sure everything's dry before I try to touch it. There we go. Yeah, this right here is that water-soluble marking pencil. It's like a laundry or sewing marking pencil. I can't find my Stabilo's white pencils. One of them I've narrowed it, you know, I've worn that bad boy down drawing on the shirt, or drawing on these hoodies. Yep. Yeah, the fabric kind of eats up the lead a bit. Nature of the beast. Okay. Let's see. And again, let's see, we've got his foot. It's at a distance, kind of like in proportion, like, so these are the bigger coming for us, not for us, in front of us, in our face type of thing. The highlight extends, the highlight right here, he's going to be like backlit, so everything around these edges here will be highlighted. So I definitely got to get some white up in this area right here where I'm coloring. And right here definitely needs to be white. All these other parts right here can get like a little bit of white, maybe a layer or two of white, because it's ultimately going to be dark. There we got his foot. And this definitely part has to be white, and the rest of it is all his shoe, or sandal rather. Alright. Okay, so that's pretty much him right there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put some white on here. And we are in the right direction. Super important. Alright. I took a lot of paints and stuff with me. Let's see. Where art thou? Pull out these brushes. Ended up buying another painter's pen, but I think I got the wrong color because that cap is black. I did. Son of a biscuit eater. Oh well. Maybe I could use a black. Okay, but not right now. I want to see if the ultrafine will work for me. Here it is. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Alright. For giggles, I think I'm going to hit this with a heat just to make sure that this black is dry. And I'm pretty sure it is. It dries pretty fast. Okay, so what I basically wanted to do, and I apologize for not turning off the sound first. Let me open this up. Is I wanted to stabilize this so that I could get to these little legs down here. This one I'm actually going to probably paint with the hoop on, just so I have a little bit more stability. Yeah, right now stability is more important than the board beneath it. There we go. And I'll just drop the board down just a bit so it's not like right up on it. Okay, so I wanted to try this pen and see if I can get some better lines going here, because I know that my hand, as it goes through, is going to kind of rub my pencil off. Yes. Now this will give me a nice faint line once it dries. Look at my source image here. Yeah, you won't be able to get, you know, really super tiny details crystal clear because of the texture of the jacket. And this is one of the downsides to the painters, is that it scratches up the fuzz off the jacket. And I'll just go ahead and add where I want the highlight to go. This is where the light blue is going to go. Alrighty. We'll keep that one pointed, and we'll just kind of point this area a little bit more. All right. Okay, so paintbrushes. I went out and bought a variety pack of sponges. What attracted me to this was this particular sponge. How do I open you bad boy? Aha! Got a panel for easy access, baby. There we go. Alright. I wanted a sponge this small. I was gonna almost make one. This was $10 at Walmart. I get 50 different size brushes, different quality brushes, different sponges, and I wanted a sponge this small, but now that I'm looking, there's a lot of different types of brushes in this thing that I didn't realize because my eyes were set on these little tiny ones here. I don't know if I'm ever going to use these right here. I know I can use this one. This is pretty cool. Let's see. This is interesting. And this looks like something that I would use for like makeup. This might help me get some really interesting positions in here. Might get some really fine details, and it's still kind of spongy. Kind of cool. All right. So these are two of the ones that I'm really interested in. These other ones would be pretty good for like when I do pencil drawings, and I want to do some really gentle shading. I think those will be pretty good for that. Ooh, some really good sized brushes. So this is actually worth it. A lot of these brushes here, there's even a thinner one. Yeah, that's kind of cheesy. If it was a little bit tapered to the, I think that would be more useful as a detail type brush, because I've bought different sets of brushes that have, you know, to help me with the finer details. It's pretty good. I guess this is what they'll consider that detail brush. I might be able to make that work. Make it work moment. Okay, so let me move all these damn brushes out the way. Let's see, I'm gonna keep these two guys out. If there's anybody who gets any smaller, keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I mean, this is freaking awesome. When I have those big areas, I can use this, moderate size areas, and then the really tight areas. I've been looking for something like this. I've been waiting for a sponge like you to come into my life. Okay, so let's move that on down. Something to trip over later. Okay, all right, so let's add some white. Let's see, I'm excited. So excited. Oh no, it's all dried up. Okay, no worries. Let's see, what can I use in this? I really shouldn't, because it's probably going to be all gunky. Yeah, the downside to having paint that's dried out on you, it may leave little fuzz balls of dried up paint. So let me get rid of this bad boy, and we'll get some fresh white. I'm also gonna have to get some fresh white water as well, or fresh water too. Let's see. All right, my little dollar bowls. These are pretty good for keeping my paint together. It has little lids, and I'm able to reuse some paint, but if it dries out in certain areas, it's like kind of useless. Okay, all right, so along with my sponge haul, I bought more white paint. Now this paint here, I am not so sure about. It does come out pretty white, but using it by itself, it tends to flake on fabric like this, because I put it on the other hoodie and just caked it on there, and it just started cracking, I guess with abuse. I don't think my hoodie was ready to be handled the way it was. But what I'm going to do is just mix this up with some Mod Podge, and to get that nice thickness that's like I've got right here. I don't think this is going to crack anytime soon. And then when I'm done with the image, I'm going to go ahead, you know, and make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and coat it again with Mod Podge, and that will act as a sealant and hopefully a protector, so like you know, you rubbing up against walls or somebody pawing you, it won't come all off on their hands and flake off like a bad fish. Let's see. Oh, okay, and this time I bought a satin type of Mod Podge. I want to see how this satin works with this paint, because right now with it mixing in with this paint, it's very matte. you know, there's no shine to it at all, no pizzazz, which is fine because generally this white is going to get covered up with another color, but anything that's exposed, I'll expose you, doesn't seem to have that same, I don't know. I think I have to coat my white a little bit thicker than I did on the mask. Anyway, we shall tackle that beast when it comes. First thing I want to do is, oh, where did I do it by? Is this the same one? It is now. Okay, so I got that. Got my lid. Well, I'll use this one because the lid's already on it. All right. I might get goofy and punchy closer I get to my bedtime. I used to laugh at old people. I'm just going to mix in whatever into this. Like maybe 1 part Mod Podge, 2 parts paint. Just as long as there's some Mod Podge in it to give it that adhesive, that extra adhesive to it, extra sticking, anything that it takes to get this to stick a little bit better. Let's see. There we go. But this stuff does coat pretty gosh darn good. And what I was also doing first thing this morning as I was making this circle was that I was alternating between using fabric paint and my Mod Podge tainted paint, tainted acrylic paint. So I'm just going to mix these bad boys up. Mod Podge won't change your paint color. Once it dries, it goes on clear. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw a layer on. I'm going to drop the board underneath here a little bit. Usually I would put in my little lid that I have really close by, but this morning when I was using the lid, it was giving me indentations. I couldn't keep it far enough away from the fabric to do what I wanted to do. So I had to stop, kind of readjust a bit, drop my thing down a little bit more. There we go, and we should be all right. Because I did have my hoop on it as well, instead of having it being loose. I just wanted to make sure I could get this entire sleeve done at the same time without having to spin it or anything like that. Okay. Now on this, I'm only going to put a couple layers because this is meant to be dark. So we'll see a little bit of the fabric beneath this layer. Usually I like to have it overcome the layer, and that keeps it nice and bright. I'm just going to go ahead and color this thing. Now, the reason why I'm making such a big deal about the board touching the backside of this is that it dries a lot faster when there's nothing behind it. The board that I have underneath here is just to protect the backside of the other side of the sleeve, because I don't want it to seep through to that side. And with the sponge, I'm able to keep this relatively flat. When you add your layers, you don't want any kind of like ridges or bumps unless you want to put a texture on. The more paint that you add, the more possibility that you may have texture, unwanted texture. So add a layer, either let it dry under a big fan, a heat gun, or a hair dryer. Oh, I love how small this thing is. I can really just get in there. Yeah, my biggest thing is not making any artwork smaller than my tools can handle. And I think this is the perfect size. Okay, I'm going to hit this with some heat. I'm going to switch it over to just playing music so you don't have to hear that whooshing sound and have your eardrums popped out. I don't know if it's really that loud, but we'll see. Alrighty. When it's thin layers like this, they dry pretty fast. So let me go ahead and add the next layer. And usually I like to add at least 3 or 4 layers. Like that, so it'll be so white that you can't see the black here inside your white. And also when I paint, I like having that little lip along the edge of the outside, and that's just the edge of the paint, and it kind of forms a little bit of a lip. It gives it this raised appearance, which is kind of cool. Now, as I was scoping out some hoodies at Walmart, I also found a hoodie that it's all black, but it has like a white stripe going down the arm. And I'm like, oh God, I gotta have that because it's different. And 16 bucks. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Everything else is 10. Why is this one 16? Will just be like really cool to have that racing stripe, or something that looks kind of like a racing stripe. Okay, so I'm going to try to smooth this out a bit. Okay, I'm going to hit this with some heat. Pardon my noise. Okay, so here's where we are thus far. This is all dry right here. It's not bone dry. What I want to do is kind of let this sink in under my fan and let it do its thing. So in the meantime, what I want to do is plan how I'm going to do my other characters onto this shirt. While this is going to be drying, I'm going to move this over to the side, and then let's see, I could try my little pattern. I'm going to move this over. Oh, don't touch that. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so here we go, working on 2 hoodies. Now I want to see if I've got my greens here. Now she's got like a couple areas of green on her outfit. One of which is the mouthpiece that she has in her mouth. Let me see how green that's supposed to be. It's like a dark green. It's almost as similar to what he has in his mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, on his jacket. Let's see, I'll try these 2 greens and see how they look. And maybe one for a highlight. Okay, these are Arteza fabric markers. I just wanted to test them and see if they would work on here. Let's see, this I think might be the darker of the greens. And we'll just put that down this way. And it's going on here very well. And this color here is turquoise. Bring it back down this way so you don't see my big old belly, my combele. They're pretty juicy right now because I rarely use green. But I thought she had, oh yes, and then she has green on her sash, right above her sash. Okay, now let's see which green is lighter. Now you can always, oh, this is definitely a darker green. Let me put that one down below. It looks lighter on this cap, but it's really a darker green. How about this one? This one here is pine green. Ooh, this one's even darker. Holy crap. Okay, good to know. Let's see. So the Artezas look wicked dark on here. Let's see. I've got some other greens that are Artezas as well. Let's see. I don't know if they have names on them. Let's see. Nope, no name, just a color. Okay, let's see if this is a light green. We'll use this inch. Yeah, Arteza is not like paying me or nothing like that for this, so I just wanted to try them out. I see Arteza ads all the freaking time, so I had to take a chance and see what they were up to, see what kind of quality, and I do like their quality. They are definitely growing as a company, and I'm here for it. All right, so that's not too bad. That's a decent green. Now this color right here is brown, and this one is kind of like a reddish tone. Let's see, what do I have for brown? that is shown right here of 2 reds. There we go. Let's see, this is a pink. Let's see what that looks like on here. That's not too bad. That's pretty close to the color that I need. So I'm going to use that. I might have to go over it a couple times. Let's see. And this is like a darker red. And we'll just use that right here. Kind of mix it in with this pink here. And we'll see what that looks like when it dries. Okay. So these are Artezas, but they're the more finer markers. And there's more of these than there are of the larger markers. Still a shit ton of greens though. Okay, I need a brown. Let's see if I've got a brown in here. Yeah, but my kingdom for a white fabric marker, a white paint pen or something like that. None of a lot of the sets that I've come across, they're not for dark fabrics, and they don't have whites. Let's see, it's not quite brown. Huh. Yeah, so far, tulip fabric markers are the only ones that I've seen so far that will work on dark fabrics. They have to be specifically opaque markers. Okay, I don't have a brown in front of me. Let's see. I think I have a brown paint though. Let's see. See if this paint's any good. My green has kind of gotten out of hand on here. Let me put this in the water. Put you in the water. Let's get the brown here. I only need just a smidge of this. Hopefully it's still kind of got a little darkness to it. Yeah, it's still moist. This is a little too dark for what I need, so I'll mix a little bit of white with that in a sec. La 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 la. Okay, just a little. And that should lighten that up a bit. And it's not. Because that wasn't really a brown. That's alright, I can always cover that back up. Oh, let's see what it dries into. It's almost there. It's almost a brown. Okay, no worries. Alright, Nezuko. I think her box is brown, so I'm gonna have to get my brown paints out. Okay, her jacket is black, her hair is black. Let's see, and I could probably use a little bit more pink on her outfit here. All right, I'm gonna have some fun with her. Let me get a box. I found a narrower box to use. Put her up here. Move a lot of this stuff out of the way. Let's see, we have another container. Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah, a lot of black is going to be happening on here. I could have just tried to use the sleeve or the jacket's color. Okay. I'm going to slide everybody I'm not using right off the bat in here. Let's see, I'll probably use that soon. my gel pens out. These guys in here. All right. Okay. Let's see. See, this is melted chocolate. Let me see what this color looks like. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good wood color. Okay, that and with a little bit of yellow mixed in, I think will be just ducky. I'm gonna mix that in with the with some fabric paint. All right. Yeah, the Artezas look like they covered pretty well on this fabric. Sorry, this paint here. Let's see. This hoodie wants to fall. It's so heavy. It's so big and bulky and heavy. It's like gravity. It's a real thing. All right. See, I don't want to lose the lid because the lid is pretty cool. Let's see. How should I do this? Maybe if I fold it backwards on itself. Box salvaging. Okay. Stick this underneath. There we go. I got a lot of brown to paint, a lot of black to paint. Bring that down. All right. Okay, so we got, this is an actual fabric paint. Handy Art, pretty good paint. You definitely want to heat set this brand of paint. I'm going to go ahead and mix these guys. I'm also going to throw a little bit of Mod Podge in there as well, because it's a very big area. There we go. We got a little bit of yellow to kind of lighten up the brown a bit. Just go ahead and pour some of this bad boy in. We're gonna need a lot of it. Okay. Go ahead and mix this. Okay, and then I'm going to throw a little bit of Mod Podge in to get it to be a little stickier. A little thicker. It doesn't make it too much thicker, but I do want that sealant quality in here. Okay, so I got all that going. Let's see. Find her box. I do not have a colored box. Not good. Huh. The box that I do have is oh, you know, it'd be funny if there was a toy where you could squeeze her on in there. That'd be funny. You squeeze her into the box. Nezuko in the box. I wouldn't mind doing a chibi version hoodie. That would be kind of cute too. Okay, let me get my sponge going. Squeeze it. Ooh, he feels icky. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and throw that brown on here. And I didn't apply a whole lot of paint primer to the box area because I do want this ultimately to be darker. And this is the very edge. All right, I'm going to apply a little bit of heat to this, get it to dry a little faster. Put that right there.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet,
Alrighty, so now I'm gonna, ooh, it's still got a little bit of tackiness to it. I need to put some more heat on this. Once I dry this a little bit more so that it won't like, be too wet and like rub off on anything, I'm gonna slide this over and color these brown as well. And I'll be doing that right now. So, but if you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. If you're working on anything, if you're doing any coloring, if you want me to go back to some crayons, do some crayon work, if you want me to do some more hand drawing, let me know. Let me know what led you to subscribe. And I'll go ahead and aim to please. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to coat this with brown, and then I'm going to apply heat and then do the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Oh, got like a little bit of white streak in there. Let me put a little bit more. So like as you're closer to the outside, it should be lighter, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll put a little bit of white on here, just to give it a little bit of variance in the brown. Cooperate! Yeah, this is almost empty. There we go. That's all I need. Just a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. Ugh. Just to give it a little bit of a wood grain texture, we'll just go ahead and vary my strokes. Take a little bit more of that white and put it here. I'm just coming up as close as I can. There we go. All right, I'm going to apply that heat and then move on to the other side. Alrighty, so taking a break from the door, let that dry and do its thing. I kind of want it to lie flat. If you have bends in it, it'll start to crack the paint, and you don't really want any bends in it. Okay, which means I need to stop carrying this with me while I'm painting. And probably not carry it with me until all the paint is dry, and then I can do the details. Okay. Now this one here has these sections of white and like a burgundy color, possibly. Let's see, what can I use to separate this? Let me see if I can find that red. Let's see. I see a red that might be closer. It's like a raspberry color. Got this maybe, or this one maybe. Now they all look a little bit lighter on here. I need a place to rest my paw. Okay. I think this is the tone. Just want to make the lines and stuff here. Now this is like a checkerboard pattern on here. And then she's got a yellow, yellowish sash around all that. Okay, let me see. I can do that one, I believe, in black. At least the lines for this one. See if this color's closer. Yeah. See, maybe if I use a combination of it. trying to understand her pattern on her outfit here. It's kind of like got diamonds and triangular shapes. I'm wondering if I can use one of these tones for her, the shadows of her outfit here. I think it might work. Oops. Let's see if I can take a little bit of Mod Podge and see if it'll help me spread some love here around. There we go. Maybe just kind of smear it a bit. Maybe blend it. Looks like it's picked up some of the marker. I think what I'll do is I'll go back over it, the parts that smear. Color in. Alrighty. Okay, so with this, I'm going to pretty much call it a night. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you just can't hang with like hour-long videos and whatnot, I'm going to do some speed versions of all this stuff so you won't miss a thing. All right, take care, and you guys have a fabulous night. Bye-bye. where we are so far on that. At least on her outfit. All this has to be painted black and stuff. Alright, ta-ta, y'all. Bye-bye.